get going. I recess the meeting until the fall of the gavel. We're going to take action with the motion that's before us. We got to make sure that we have a quorum.
To speak for a minute?
Yeah. As a point of personal privilege, I'm going to call on Senator Flake to speak. Normally we would start the vote right now, but as a point of personal privilege, I would call on Senator Flake.
Oh, thank you. I have been speaking with a number of people on the other side. We've had conversations ongoing for a while with regard to making sure that we do due diligence here. And I think it would be proper to delay the floor vote for up to, but not more than 1 week, in order to let the FBI continue to do an investigation limited in time and scope to the current allegations that are there, and limited in time to no more than 1 week. And I will vote to advance the bill to the floor with that understanding. And I've spoken to a few other members who, on my side of the aisle, that may be supportive as well. But that's my position. I think that that we ought to do what we can to make sure that that we do all due diligence with a nomination this important. And I want to say that this committee has acted properly, and the chairman has bent over backwards to do investigations from this committee and to delay this vote in this committee for a week so that that Ms. Ford, Dr. Ford, could be heard, and she was yesterday. So that's with that agreement. I will vote to advance the bill to the floor.
Clerk will call the roll.
Just wait, just 1 second. Can Diane speak?
Could we have a description of...
Yeah, what are we voting on? Let's see.
We are voting on the motion to report the nomination to the floor. The clerk will call the roll.
Wait, that's not my understanding of what, Mr. Chairman, let the senator explain it.
That is my understanding, and if the Democrats could speak to it, if Chris or you, as we talked about before, that the Democrats would accept and endorse a 1 week FBI investigation limited in time and scope.
Well, since you're the deciding vote here, we'll vote, and then if there's any sort of discussion, we'll go do that after the vote. Call the roll.
Mr. Hatch. Aye. Mr. Graham. Aye. Mr. Cornyn. Aye. Mr. Lee.
Aye.
Mr. Cruz.
Aye.
Mr. Sass.
Aye.
Mr. Flake.
Aye.
Mr. Crapo. Mr. Tillis.
Aye.
Mr. Kennedy.
This is
Aye.
on the nominee.
Mrs. Feinstein.
Yeah.
On the nominee, no.
Mr. Leahy.
On the nominee, no.
Mr. Durbin. No. Mr. Whitehouse.
No.
Ms. Klobuchar.
No.
Mr. Coons.
On the nominee, no.
Mr. Blumenthal.
No.
Ms. Hirono.
No.
Mr. Booker.
No.
Ms. Harris.
No.
Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, the votes are 11 days, 10 days.
The nominee will be reported to the floor.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank my friend and colleague, Senator Flake, and thank you for giving us the time today to have a conversation. A number of my colleagues have asked for a one-week delay in order that there might be an FBI investigation of what allegations are currently before this committee. I respect Senator Flake's view that in his opinion it was best to respect your having given Dr. Ford the time to be heard yesterday and advance the nominee to the floor. But it is my hope that we could work together on a bipartisan basis to diligently pursue an FBI investigation within the next week, not for the purpose of delay, but for the purpose of investigating further either allegations made by Dr. Ford or others, with a goal towards demonstrating a bipartisan commitment to diligently investigating these allegations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Senator Flake.
Senator Feinstein.
Thank you. I would support that motion. I think we do need this investigation. As a matter of fact, I sort of misunderstood, Senator Flake, what you were doing. I thought it included a one-week investigation. So I would like to support the motion for that investigation.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman.
We'll take turns here. Senator.
I love this committee, but we're not the majority leader. Senator Flake has made clear what it would take him to be comfortable on a final passage vote. But it doesn't matter what we say here. This will be up to Senator Schumer and Senator McConnell. So
It is completely up to them.
yeah, and I think
Mr.
Jeff has
Chairman.
made himself very clear, and
No, it's Senator.
let's move.
Senator Leahy. Senator Leahy.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I want to make sure, because this is somewhat unprecedented. When I do agree with the senator from Arizona that we should have this further investigation. So my understanding is that during the week that is taking place, there will be no action on the floor of the United States Senate on this nomination. Is that correct?
I cannot say that.
Let me say again, I can't make that commitment for the leadership. I can only say that I would be only comfortable moving forward on the floor. I'll move it out of committee, but I will only be comfortable moving on the floor until the FBI has done more investigation than they have already. It may not take them a week. I understand that some of these witnesses may not want to discuss anything further, but I think we owe them due diligence.
Mr. Chairman.
Follow it up.
Just a minute. All I have said to Senator Flake is that I would advocate for the position he took, but I don't control that. Senator,
Mr. Chairman.
yes, Senator Klobuchar.
Mr. Chairman, there are other senators as well who may be interested in this negotiation on the Republican side, and there's not really a set agreement here. All of us had already said we were voting no. It is simply Senator Flake working with all of us to say, for the good of the Senate and the good of the court, the American people deserve to have the facts followed up on. And I really appreciate his willingness to do that. And that is what this is about.
As to what exactly the FBI investigation would consist of. Some of us think it has been concluded and supplemented by this committee's investigation. Others disagree with that. But I respect the fact that not only Senator Flake advocated to give Dr. Ford a chance to appear in front of the committee, which was the right thing to do, but also that he's allowed this process to move forward, subject to further discussions about what the FBI may or may not be able to come up with, but certainly he maintains his right to cast his vote yea or nay as he sees fit and maintains significant leverage that way. But I appreciate his support for a full and fair hearing for Dr. Ford and Judge Kavanaugh, as well as his willingness to allow this to go forward subject to his request.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Blumenthal, I think I ought to
All right.
call on Senator Feinstein. And then,
If I, through the chair, could ask a question of Senator Flake, does your amendment include continuing the investigation during this period of time?
If I can respond, there is no amendment. I'm simply stating, and the discussion that we had between us all is that I would hope, and I think we had some agreement before, that the Democrats who have been, I think, justifiably uncomfortable moving ahead could publicly, in an effort to bring this country together, say that we would feel better. I'm not expecting them to vote yes, but not to complain that an FBI investigation has not occurred. And this is what I'm trying to do. This country is being ripped apart here, and we've got to make sure that we do due diligence. I think this committee has done a good job, but I do think that we can have a short pause and make sure that the FBI can investigate. My understanding is that some of us would have to, and I'm prepared to do it, make a request to the White House to ask the FBI to do that investigation. It would be short and limited in scope to the current allegations that have been made.
Mr. Chairman.
But I would just encourage the Democrats who we talked to before to endorse that kind of thing, that we can then move on.
Mr. Chairman.
Because of the 2-hour rule, we're adjourned.
What?
The 2-hour rule.
No vote.
When did we come in? Did we come in at noon?
No.
How,
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the 2-hour rule.
We came in at noon?
Yeah, we knew you were going to, we had to get this all done by 2 o'clock.
well, is it done? Is Flake's is it going to happen, or did you cut off a vote?
No, we didn't have a motion in front of us. This is all a gentleman and women's agreement.
But I would assume.
Gentlemen and women's agreement.
I would assume.
But I'm committed to,
Just let him say what he's committed to.
no.
Hey, John.
Satisfied that that is meaningful because of the close status of the vote, because there's a good likelihood that this might transpire.
You had that comment, Ron. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I would assume, I would hope that we don't muddy the waters of the motion to proceed. Give it a few days for a real investigation. You didn't have an up or down? I think Jeff Flake raised it.
What do you mean by muddy the waters in the motion to proceed? Okay.
What you'd be saying is, I guess we have the vote on Monday, and then have the FBI investigation on Tuesday. That wouldn't make much sense.
Senator Klobuchar? Can you tell us what just happened? What did you just see? What happened?
Well, Senator Coons and Senator Flake have been working together on this for quite a while, and a number of us have been urging them along. But this was kind of a surprise to all of us. Senator Flake has expressed, including in his speech yesterday, his concern about the divide in this country that is being exacerbated by what's happening here. And of course, we have been asking over and over again for follow-ups on the evidence. And so Senator Flake is basically saying to his leadership, I want to see this additional investigation before I vote for this nominee. And if he is joined by one or two other Republicans in that request, then they wouldn't have the votes unless the investigation occurred. It's that simple.
Anybody else did it?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them. It is 1 week, given 1 week is what Senator Flake was interested in, and you can do a lot if you have the whole FBI looking at things in 1 week.
Did Senator Flake bring this idea to the Democrats? Did the Democrats reach out to him?
You should talk to Senator Flake about that. But I think you've seen him to be quite an independent in terms of a lot of the decisions he makes and what he says, and he just felt that he had a very important role to play here as a member of the committee. Thank you.
Is he still in there? Is he still in there?
I believe he's still in there. And again, a number of us had suggested the week. I suggested it today, as did Senator Coons. And did we actually think that this was going to happen today? No. But we are in a better place than we were at 8 a.m. this morning.
Why do you think Flake switched?
I think you should talk to him.
What did you?
What did Senator Graham tell him? Oh, thank you.
He did it on his own.
Senator Graham, that was fast. Are you?
A couple things. I think I know what happened. I hope some Democrats will say if we do what Jeff said, that would end the process dispute, at least a few of them. I don't expect any of them to vote for the guy, but if we ask the FBI to look at what's in front of us no later than a week, no longer than a week, and they would say that would be a better process, that would be progress in Jeff's trying his best to bring the country together and vote the best way he knows how. So I don't know if that's the agreement. I'll get back with you.
Do you expect Senator McConnell to honor this?
I don't know. That's why I'm going to go talk to him right now.
Do you think it would be a good idea if he did honor this?
Last time I looked, you need 50 votes.
So, right now we don't know if anybody else would join us.
Well, all I can say is that right now, what Jeff is saying is makes sense to me.
Do you think that Murkowski and Connor?
I don't know. I'm not speaking for Mitch. I'm going to talk with Jeff. And somebody's got to explain this to Trump, so I guess that'll be my job.
If it's going to take are you going to back this move? If it's going to take...
If I'm nothing, I'm practical.
George, this is really an astounding play by Senator Flake. He's essentially daring Mitch McConnell. The leader, of course, controls the floor, but the leader could essentially ignore his request and attempt to move ahead with this vote soon, as we know he is eager to do. But look, if other Republicans stand with Jeff Flake, McConnell simply may not have the votes to get Kavanaugh confirmed without him. And we were just talking with Lindsey Graham, who has been a staunch supporter of Kavanaugh's nomination, and he says he's still trying to digest this. He doesn't know what Mitch McConnell is going to do next. But when asked if he would support this move, he laughed and chuckled and said, well, look, I just know you need 50 votes. And so the question is...
I know, I understand, but that always applies. In a pen. You can't, there's no S for it.
He won't have the votes, though. I don't think he could tell Flake, persuade him to put to the vote delay.
I'm not going into all of the conversations taking place, but the general appeal, publicly and privately, is we need to know the facts. This decision is too important to rush to judgment without an FBI investigation. And Senator Flake has made very clear, and I appreciate it, that he wants to know more. And he believes this delay is the responsible step to take. All of that said, let me be very blunt. Before we ended, I was about to be recognized to make this point and motion that this FBI investigation has to be real and penetrating so that the truth and facts and evidence are all uncovered. This FBI investigation cannot be a show or a charade. It must be real, and it must go to the witnesses who are likely to produce facts and evidence.
Senator, is it your understanding that Flake had the assurances of other senators in his party before he decided to make this move?
Senator Flake talked to a number of senators in his own party as well as on our side, and I appreciate that he was seeking common ground.
What can he and his colleagues do if the leadership decides to press ahead with the vote anyway?
Obviously, Senator Flake could vote against the nomination.
Has he told you he would do that?
No, he hasn't indicated to me what he would do, but the incentive for the leadership following his wishes as to the delay is they need his vote, along with all of the other members of the majority. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, who initiated these conversations today? Was it him or a Democrat?
I can't give a comment.
Yeah. Okay, I need you to hang up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, right? No. Okay. When there's a member of the mic, you're welcome to come up. Okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, thank you much.
Very appreciative of Jeff Flake's initiative to delay this vote. It provides the FBI time to do an investigation with regard to the serious and credible allegations that have been made. I appreciate Jeff Flake wanting to know the facts and the evidence before he votes, which is what every member of the United States Senate should do. And only because the Republican leadership is rushing to judgment is his leadership here so important. But the FBI investigation must be penetrating and impartial and objective. It cannot be a show or a charade. It must go to the witnesses who have facts and evidence that's pertinent to these serious allegations, and it must be given enough time to do that work.
When did you know that Senator Flake had a chanting part? Did he approach you?
You should really talk to Senator Flake about what went through his mind.
The White
Thank
House
you.
still, though, is going to have to ask for an FBI investigation. The president has signaled that he's not really down for that at all. Republicans could still move forward with 50-50 and get the VP to split a tie. So do you think anything's really going to come from this?
The need for investigation, I think, is shared by more than just Senator Flake. I think there are senators on both sides of the aisle that feel additional fact-finding is necessary. The allegations are serious and credible, and ultimately the White House has to respect the Senate in having enough votes to pass this nomination. If there are enough senators who want an FBI investigation, it will happen.
Should the FBI administer a polygraph exam with Judge Kavanaugh?
The FBI will decide what is the appropriate means of investigation. It will decide who the right witnesses are and what way to take evidence. And if it believes a polygraph is appropriate, then it should be done.
Senator, is there a reasonable timeline when you think they should complete it? And when
My own view is that an FBI investigation should be done in the time that the FBI thinks it's appropriate to do it fully and fairly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No more trips. You go over there. No reporters. Do not come this way.
Okay. All right. I know, by a staff person, he's going to come this way.
Okay, so we have to be behind the ropes, folks, please.
On the side of the hallway. Ricky Kuntz is coming to my
We
camera.
have to be
We're told.
behind the ropes, please. Extra. We have to be behind those ropes, okay? Keep this open. Sorry, thank you. Keep this open here.
Down one. I don't want to block my colleagues. Yep, totally get it. That's okay? Yeah, that's No, go back there.
Never changes.
Thank you. Come on, let's go. Sir, we need to move now. Come on. You're a sir, out the door. Come on. Come on. Thanks.
One time. Only one? Long time ago. Long time ago. Well, thank you very much. We are with the very distinguished President of Chile, and he and I are going to be discussing a lot of things, including trade and military protection and purchases. We have a lot of things on our plates. One of the most beautiful countries in the world. It's also got one of the great coastlines in the world. There's no lacking of coast, there's no lacking of ocean. So it's an honor to be with the President, and thank you very much for being at the Oval Office with us. Thank you.
President Trump.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm very pleased to be in this great country with President Trump. There are so many issues that we have to discuss because Chile and the United States are like-minded countries. We share the most important things, which are values: democracy, human rights, freedom. And for me, it's a great opportunity to talk to President Trump about important issues for the world, for the U.S., and for Chile.
Show them your flag, or you show
And by the way, Chile is at the heart of the United States. And the best proof of this is the American flag, and there is a Chilean flag right at the very heart of the U.S. flag.
That's great.
Mr. President, any comment on the request for a delay from Senator Flake? He wants a one-week delay so the FBI can investigate further.
Well, I'm going to let the Senate handle that. They'll make their decisions, and they've been doing a good job and very professional. I'm just hearing a little bit about it because I've been with the President of Chile, and we're talking about some very important subjects, but I'm sure it will all be very good. I guess the vote was a positive vote, but there seems to be a delay. I'll learn more about it as the day goes on. I just heard about it because we were together.
And what did you think of Dr. Ford's testimony when you heard that?
I thought her testimony was very compelling, and she looks like a very fine woman to me. Very fine woman. And I thought that Brett's testimony, likewise, was really something that I haven't seen before. It was incredible. It was an incredible moment, I think, in the history of our country. But certainly she was a very credible witness. She was very good in many respects. And I think that I don't know if this is going to continue onward or are we going to get a vote. But again, I'm here, so I'm not out there watching because I can't be. Out of great respect, although maybe we'll go watch together. Okay, we'll watch together. But I think it will work out very well for the country. I just want it to work out well for the country. If that happens, I'm happy.
Have you thought at all about a replacement for Judge Kavanaugh?
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
What's your message for Murkowski and colleagues?
I have no message. I mean, they have to do what they think is right. There's no message whatsoever. They have to do what they think is right. They have to be comfortable with themselves, and I'm sure that's what they are.
Would you be willing to reopen the background investigation into Kavanaugh?
I'm going to rely on all of the people, including Senator Grassley, who's doing a very good job. That'll be a decision that they're going to make, and I suspect they'll be making some decision soon, whether to take a vote or to do whatever else they want to do. I will be totally reliant on what Senator Grassley and the group decides to do. Okay? We're going to talk about Venezuela. I was waiting for that question. We will be discussing Venezuela, among many other things. A lot of interesting things going on in that part of the world. But Chile is really something special. If you look at what they've done, how far they've come, you look at how well run the country is. So I just want to say it's an honor to be with you. A great honor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whatever they think is necessary is okay. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I know he wants to meet with us. We'll see what happens. Venezuela's a mess, and it's got to be cleaned up, and people have to be taken care of. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anything on Rose's sign?
Thanks, Rose. Thank you.
Anything on Rose's
It's the same thing everywhere.
Never changes.
Guys, let's go. Dan, you need to leave now. Sir, no.